Hey y'all, and welcome to Top 5. We are talking Top 5 horror films in this one.
Ooh.
It's October, guys. Bring in the fear. Oh, cool. And look, we had the creaky chair. It was meant to be.
It was a door. It was
like, it was a creaky door, haunted house.
Yeah.
We played it off so well. Alright,
Scripted.
Alright, I'm your moderator, Frank. Or just a normal guy. I don't know why I'm giving myself that title all the time. I kind of like it, though.
It's okay. It justifies you doing a majority of the talking, which I like.
And editing. And I'm your sound engineer, your producer, Frank.
Mm-hmm.
What am I?
You're the judge this time around, but I'm getting to you. I'm going to go this way first.
I want
Okay.
a title.
You're our Joe Bear. Our teddy bear.
Next we have the host of the studio, John.
Oh, yeah. That's John. Hey, how's it going, y'all?
All right. We have our Googler,
Squeaks!
Critical job.
and we have our judge / expert on all World of Warcraft DK things.
Joe.
Joe.
Don't narrow it down too much.
Well, I kind of had to a little bit because I could beat you on most things on the I'm just saying.
Okay.
Oh, he's looking sad. He's looking sad now.
Wait, are those the razor blade? Run away!
That's good. Okay, so real quick, speaking of a joke about suicide, this is gonna be.
I mean, I wasn't thinking like that.
This is gonna be a mature episode because we're talking horror films. I don't want to be talking about blood and guts and everything like that, and then hear about on Twitter like, "But my kid was listening to this." I'm like, "Well, look, it's called horror films, so." Guess what? It eats kids, so that's gonna happen. And that's on my list. Anything we want to talk about before we get started? Any criterias? I say no Jaws, but you guys said no. That's not
everywhere I look, though, Jaws is on there.
Yeah.
It's a thriller, not
it's
a
hard
horror
to
film.
A lot of movies online are classified under multiple categories too. So
maybe it's a time thing because King Kong was listed as a horror too. I'm like,
that's more of an adventure movie at this point.
The way I think of it, though, there's
King Kong.
Three of us pitching different movies for our top 5s.
Yeah.
So if yours is too far out there and it's on the edge, it's almost not a horror movie, everybody's going to fight you with it and you're not going to win.
Fair.
So you want to bring in the most accurate horror movie.
Because I love Jaws, so it's hard.
Yeah. So if you're trying to fight for that, nobody else agrees that it's even a horror movie, you're less likely to win.
Yeah. Alright, so our judge is Joe. Joe, why don't you take it away, man? Oh, no, I keep doing this. I don't know how many times I've done this episode, and I keep forgetting. We're going to name our 5s first.
I remember my first podcast.
Hi, guys. My name's Frank. I'm new to this. So you sit here and you talk, right? Oh, that's
Some
cool.
moderator, right, Squeaks?
This is me. Still getting over that cough. Sorry, guys. My 5 is Paranormal Activity, The Shining.
Oh, God.
Paranormal Activity. We're starting there. Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
It scared me a lot, okay? I gotta get rid of this cough.
Signs.
I love that movie. Shining, Get Out, Misery, and It, the 1990 version.
Really? The 1990 version?
I love both It's, but I couldn't pick both of them on my list, so I was like, alright, which one of these two do I like better? Which one scared me more? It was the 1990 version. Tim Curry? We'll get into it. Trust me.
Gosh.
Give me my minute and we'll get
AKA the guy in Home Alone that worked at the hotel.
into that. Yeah, and he was mean, okay?
He was. You see when they does that evil grin and they put the Grinch with him?
That's
it. Oh, that's it. Boom, go.
All right.
5.
My 5 is the It from 2017.
Oh,
the good,
we're beefing already.
The extremely scary, not semi-comical It. The Dawn of the Dead from 2004. Because I didn't realize there was one from like the 70s.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead. 28 Days Later. 13 Ghosts. And Saw. Which I kind of
13 Ghosts.
lump in the Saw series.
It's on my honorable mention, but it should be higher.
It's one of my favorite.
I love that movie too, though.
The main thing that puts it lower in my list is that, like you mentioned before, Frank, it doesn't age well because the graphics and the technology back then. It doesn't look great now, but gosh, I remember watching it back then. So suspenseful. It was like the scariest thing I'd seen back in that time. So. But yeah, so those are my 5.
All right, Squeaks, feed me.
All right. I'm gonna feed you a big plate.
I need that protein.
So I got Exorcist,
Scary.
Psycho, The Shining, It, the new It, 2017, and then Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nice.
You're going for some classics right there.
I am.
That's some classics.
It's a classic
Fair.
man. It's a classic man.
All right, now take it away, Joe.
All right. Squeak, start us out. Let me get that number 1.
Number 1, Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay.
Let me know why.
Okay.
By the amazing Wes Craven, R.I.P. Okay.
Really?
Obviously, I'm not gonna like say about it because we know about it, but I think Freddy, his character himself, is something insanely scary with this claw weapon, with his burnt face, his crazy past of him with the children. I think the part where he's always too hard to beat and had to go into the sleep world to try to kill him was one of my favorite things. I really like horror movies that are just the next level. Like, I don't really care for all the crazy demon ones they're making nowadays, which I do like. Conjurings are really good. But I really do like the out there horror. This movie also starred Johnny Depp. He is actually one of the main characters.
Really?
Super young.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, super young. It's hard to tell it's really him, but it is him. Also, Wes Craven based this off of children. I think it was like immigrant children that came over to the United States and somehow miraculously died in their sleep. So he came up with this theory of it. Yeah.
You're done, boy. You're done.
Okay.
I liked it. I loved it.
Yeah.
And John, no one some more of it. Feed me.
I'm gonna go with Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
So I think it's hard for me to say it's my favorite.
It's just such a
zombie
good
movie, but yeah, it's well rounded.
Is it your favorite zombie movie?
Either that or 28 Days Later.
I see, and it's funny because my favorite zombie movie, we already talked about this, is too much of a comedy, is Shaun of the Dead.
Well, yeah, but
it's too much of a comedy.
It's comedy. It's funny. It's really funny. But so yeah, Dawn of the Dead. It's pretty much just this zombie apocalypse. This group of people find themselves in a mall, and it just follows the journey of trying to survive. There is a little bit of humor in it and stuff, but it's very. It seems. Of course, we don't know what the zombie apocalypse is going to look like, but it seems very practical, and you see them facing struggles that you kind of want to think about. But it's like, oh yeah, in real life, any emergency situation, that's going to come up. But like, there's a family where the wife's pregnant, and the zombie apocalypse comes, and she gives birth to a zombie baby, and it's like, oh my god, that's a monster. But the father's like, no, that's my child, and his wife turned before she gave birth, but it's like, this is my family. He goes crazy and whatever, tries to kill everybody else to keep his family together. But you remember the sniper on the rooftop where they're picking out?
That's my favorite part.
Was it Jay Leno? It's the different zombies that are popping off. It's kind of like the funny part of it. But
yeah.
Well, I love the way that story ends. That part ends. If you don't, you have 7 seconds. If you have anything else to say.
Yeah.
All right. So the way that part ends is where he's like got bit or whatever, got attacked, and then you just see him like hold up a sign and it's got like a bunch of blood written out. Like
just muscle memory.
It's just a bunch of like hands like scraped on it or whatever, and he's like says, I don't know. Yeah. But it was just heartbroken.
He gets bit because he's starving. Over at the mall, they have endless food, pretty much, relatively, and he's in a little ammo shop and has nothing. So they strap a bunch of food and stuff to this dog. The zombies don't attack the dog for some reason, so they send it to him. He tries to get it in, but he doesn't get the door closed well enough. A zombie gets in, and then they all rush in, and then he's attacked and dies. And then he goes and grabs a whiteboard. So the guy sees him with this, oh good, he must be okay. He got to the roof and has a whiteboard, and he goes to write on it like them right back and forth, but he's scribbling with his hands, blood all over it, and holds it up like it's not like not really realizing what he's doing.
A solid flick.
Yeah, that was an emotional part right there. You're like, oh good. He's okay. No, he's dead. He's a zombie.
All right, so what do we got on the docket? My turn. What do we got on the docket?
Mine was
Dawn of the Dead
and
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Classic and a solid film.
Yeah.
So I got to be able to knock these out for number one. And I'm bringing it in with a newer film, Get Out. All right?
Oh my god, I don't know why that's considered horror.
I don't know why you're here. Okay?
Wow! I think
because I'm bringing the good stuff.
I can't make suicide jokes, but we can bully each other. That's cool.
No, we're cool now. I gave the warning in the beginning. Now we can be mean.
Oh, okay. Fuck all of you guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be cussing so much now just because of
No, we got the warning. We're good.
Freedom!
I know. Like you guys don't cuss, and I have to take them out all the time anyways.
Right.
So, Get Out. I'm 32 seconds. Okay.
Oh, you wasted all your time.
Yeah. Get Out is about... You haven't seen... Shut up! Okay, reset it. I'm reset it. I'm pulling a Daniel and freaking out about my time.
Right.
Okay, so... And you've seen this already, or you haven't seen this yet, so I'm going to spoil a lot of it. It's about a black guy who's dating this white girl who goes to see her family, and so there's already this like racial tension, right? They're super like overly cool with it, which means that they're actually racist. And then it's true, you get the vibe. And then what's happening, you find out, is they have a bunch of like their white friends come over, and then they see that there's something wrong. Well, boil it down to what they're doing is they're hypnotizing these guys and putting the old white people in their bodies. And the reason they're choosing black people because like black people are in, and so while these white people come over for a barbecue, they're actually having an auction to see who gets to bid on that kid, and then whoever wins gets to be in him and like, oh, good, I won. And that's how they get immortality. There's even a gardener and like a maid that's walking around cleaning the house and cutting the lawn and stuff like that. That's actually, and it's 2 African Americans, and that's actually the grandparents put into new bodies that are taking care of the house.
Buying these young black bodies.
Oh, dude, the movie is so good.
You haven't seen this movie?
No.
He hasn't seen it yet.
Now I don't need to. I know the end of it.
I didn't want to do that because of that, but it's just such a good movie.
It was a very good film.
Yeah, and it's made by Jordan Peele.
All right, we got Nightmare on Elm
Writer,
Street, Dawn of
producer.
the Dead, and Get Out. I'm gonna give you guys an open question here.
Okay.
And you can go. Well, I'll call you.
If you throw a dagger down on the floor,
I'm gonna throw it down.
You already know fucking Fred's gonna kill
Tell
him.
him on it. If you were to be in one of the other stories that your opponent has given out, which one would you rather be?
Crazy. Oh, let me start this up.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll start with Ted this time.
Okay, Dawn of the Dead. That mall was awesome. I would own that mall. It had the dad from Modern Family in there, by the way. You remember that? He was like a jerk in that movie.
yeah, he was a major douchebag.
He had the boat back. Anyways, that's the whole side thing. Anyways, but that mall was lit, and those guys were dumb for leaving it. And they should have just stayed there, hung out, like, okay, you guys want to leave? See you later. I'm staying here at the mall. They were all set for like a long time. Yeah. The mall was the way to go.
Alright, fair enough. Squeeze, what do you got?
Alright. So I wouldn't want to be in mine because mine's actually a horror film. It's scary shit. Having a whole guy burnt and try to kill everyone to sleep.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But
I see what
I would like to live and get out since I'm a fair-skinned gentleman. Servants all around me, serving me everything I want. So I don't see anything wrong in that movie for me.
There is the problem.
No, so that's the I see.
Joe's over there now. He'll hold this shit
Squeaks
together.
is the problem in America.
So,
He's the racist.
No, of course that's jacked up. But you're saying like if I had
Is that why you told me you had a manual labor job for me?
You're just saying if I had to live in a movie, I'm gonna of course pick that one because I easily got it made.
That's true.
So
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you had to live in one of these movies, that movie with who you are, you'd be the best case.
Yeah.
I mean,
so that's
right, John.
Is the question if you were you or if you were the main character?
Basically if you were you, if you were Tab, if you were John, if you were Squeaks,
I'm still chilling on them all.
Where would you...
So I wouldn't want to be in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, and I wouldn't want to be somewhere where this dude's invading my dreams, making me want to kill people or kill myself or whatever. So I'd probably pick Get Out too, because from the outside perspective, you're in a neighborhood. Like, I mean, I still haven't seen the movie. I don't really know everything that goes on.
God.
But 90% or 99.9% of the world is still normal. There's just this one psycho neighborhood where they're torturing people or whatever.
No, that's bad though. But I mean, you asked questions, so I mean.
Yeah, and if you burn down the entire village, entire city or neighborhood or whatever, then the rest of the world's fine. Zombie apocalypse.
We don't have,
everybody's dead.
We don't have to worry about zombies, and we can actually get a full night's sleep.
So we still got 3 minutes.
If you could live in America where that's okay, then yeah, you can get a full night's sleep.
Trying to think of questions for them. Okay, we still got 3 minutes. If you guys were... Come on. If you were the villain, or the bad guy, or villain.
They are in mine. Go ahead.
If you were the villain in your pick of what you said,
okay.
How would you have... What would you have done differently to... I mean, assuming you get away.
How would you catch the good guy?
How would you be more... How would you be scared?
So how... Oh,
how would you make your film more...
I'm really wishing I didn't pick mine after these kind of questions.
We'll start with Tab.
Oh, great, thanks. Mid-cough. How would I be a better villain? Well, the first thing oh God, it's just such a good movie. So they had a family that was working together to keep this thing on lock, and the daughter would like play along.
In Dawn of the Dead?
No, in my movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's saying in the movie that you picked.
Right.
In your own movie.
In your own
movie.
film.
Oh, good.
So the daughter's part of the family that's like playing along with this whole thing. God, I wish I wasn't spoiling this all for you, John, but I am. She went with him for a little bit too long. I think if she had stopped and like chained him up, well, the idea is you don't really want to force them into captivity because then you have to brainwash them. You have to brainwash them. I'm going to say that's not the right term. So if there was a way for her to have kind of like done more, it seems like her whole job was just to catch them and bring them home and then play along with whatever they're saying. I think she could have done more on her end because you could tell like they were setting it up to where the dad was going to be replaced by the son and the mom was going to be replaced by the daughter. You could tell that's kind of how it already happened once and it's going to happen again. And the daughter could have done more, but I think she didn't do enough to stop him from escaping. So I think she could have done more. Yeah.
John?
Wait, I'll ask more questions about that movie later. Yeah. So I'm thinking, like, logically, eventually their whole...
You gotta see
Just
it.
watch the film.
It's such a good movie.
The whole community's gonna change eventually, but...
Because, oh God.
So you gotta watch the movie.
Anyways, so my Dawn of the Dead. So the villains, so the zombies is just the environment. There's not necessarily the villains. The villains in the movie are the security guards that are like only ones that have weapons, so they're controlling the situation inside the mall, right? So they were just douchebags and telling everybody where they can and can't go and being rough and abusive or whatever. But if I were them and I wanted to be, if I was them and I wanted to survive more successfully in the zombie apocalypse, these people come around, you either shoo them out of the mall, say you're not allowed here, or just, shoot everybody in the head and, we own the mall, nobody else can come here kind of thing. But to make for a better movie, I think they could have kept it, keep better control, but keep it locked down and don't let the people escape, and then it's more of them trying to break out, to get away, to get to the boat they were trying to go to. Because they were just kind of like, oh, if you guys want to leave, whatever, get out of here, we don't want you here.
Yeah.
But I think that was a little too easy on their end. And they were kind of overtaken, but they were bad security guards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the end.
Squeaks?
Alright, so iconic horror character, okay? Think about that. I wouldn't change anything. The only reason why is because we got Freddy kills in a horrific way, in an insane way, and he turns into everything in the nightmares, or in that person's nightmare, whatever. He can turn into anything. So besides how gory and mean, he's also a comedic character with all his jokes and everything. So it's like you got a little bit of everything just with this one villain. So he's perfect package.
Okay, nothing to add. Let's keep that in mind when we do your judging.
Speaking of Get Out, did you see alternate ending?
Oh, I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, alternate ending.
Ooh,
okay.
White people win.
Spoilers!
We'll talk about it afterwards. Because I don't want too much on Jonathan. Play doesn't know that at least the ending.
Yeah. This was all just an old white
Heads
man's
up.
dream.
Gets out.
It's funny. It's like the camera kind of comes down over a house and then there's John sleeping.
Yeah.
That was a good dream.
Great picks. All great films. All great films. Loved Get Out, but
Wow. I don't
didn't scare me. I don't know if I'd consider it a horror film.
Because you're on the wrong side of the aisle, my friend.
Son of a bitch. Dawn of the Dead was great. And Nightmare on Elm Street is classic. I'm going to go with, try to stick to our theme here and keep it what I felt was more horror-y and scary towards me.
Fair.
And I'm going to go with Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's right.
That
makes sense. Fuck those zombies. If you were a villain, I'm a fucking zombie. Of course I'm gonna eat you. What do you want me to do? Oh, what's that other zombie movie that actually had a conscience where he could turn back alive? Remember that?
Oh.
It was wasn't it one of the Days of Dead? Was that?
Story,
oh,
it was like a love story.
Oh yeah, what was that? It was iZombie?
iZombie. I was gonna say
no,
that.
iZombie was that
Warm
TV
Bodies.
series.
Warm Bodies.
It
was the first time
cool.
I met Susan. Is when she came over at Daniel's place and watched that.
Nice. All right, number 2 points.
I was there with you guys because I watched it with you guys.
That was weird.
Damn.
Number 2. John?
Let's see.
I'm hungry. Feed me.
Number 2, I'm going to go It, 2017. That was such a good movie. So I loved the older one. Was it early 90s, late 80s?
1990.
1991. It was phenomenal. But it was a 2-part movie, and I didn't realize until I had watched this one that I didn't really understand the plot of the old one. I think it's because they flash forward and back.
Well, and you were a kid when you saw it.
Yeah, I was born in 90s.
You were literally born in the 90s,
yeah. But this one is a cohesive story, and with modern CGI and stuff like that, it looked awesome. It legit scared me multiple times, partially because I haven't seen a good scary movie in a while, but also it was a good scary movie. They did just making it look so creepy. Pennywise look so sinister. It's just haunts your dreams.
Great job with that. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, true, very, very well.
I like it.
Tev, what do you got for me? Scare me shellless.
Look, Get Out's amazing, but I'm rolling It 1990 edition. I'm going head to head with you. Okay.
All right. I gotta start.
All right, so let's fire up this. All right, my timer start. The It 1990 version, pretty much the only word I got to name I got to say is Tim Curry. He was the guy who played It, and to me, he didn't need the CGI, he didn't need the special effect. It was just him. He was super imposing, and it came through. He did a Rock Horror. He did the same thing with there too. He's a really good character. It scared me more because you got to see the effect. Now, you remember, It is only with the kids, the one you're talking about. Mm-hmm. My It has both.
Yeah. And
you got to see the effect on the adults where the weak little kid then killed himself. And you had the one guy, his head's in the fridge. And you got to see the effects of them dying as adults right away. And it scared you more. And I think it did such a nice job of Yeah, he's pulling up the new It. They did a good job with him, but the CGI, I think the CGI is good, but to me it took away from it because I could recognize CGI at my age. Yeah. But when you had just Tim Curry busting it out, oh man, he was so good. And the classic, when you think of the clowns that were like hiding and scaring kids lately, it's that kind of it, where he's just sitting there with balloons, and that's enough to scare you.
Yeah, fair enough. Squeeze, what you got for the podcast?
All right, so you're not just going up against John. You got to go up against me too, because I am picking.
Oh, it's the It round. I was hoping to happen.
So
they're gonna.
So we all
bring it.
Lately, we've all been liking those old style looking films, like so everyone likes Stranger Things and whatnot. So it did get that same feel, like an E.T. old E.T. film, but nowadays.
Did the recent film take place in the past? The most recent film?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. They were kids. Okay. You haven't seen it?
No, I did. What year was it taken? Like, it wasn't like present day for us.
I think it's 80s.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because it was the same time Nightmare on Elm Street officially came out because it was on top of the movie theater.
Yeah, and the book took place in the 80s, and the movie was made after that 90s movie.
So the same film. I thought the kids, the whole cast was amazing. Besides it, they're also going with their personal things like the bully and then the Beverly with the dad that likes to do weird stuff to her. Yeah. And then the younger black kid that's going through his family farming business, like he can't kill the goat and whatnot. So they all have their own issues going on. Then now the clown comes and Skarsgård, I think, did an amazing job.
He did.
The first
There's
one.
no doubt.
You can't even tell that, Tim.
And plus, Skarsgård is just naturally creepy. I mean, he's in like Atomic Blonde, even just as a normal dude, and you're like...
He's like that in that Hulu series I just finished. Castle Rock.
Is he in Castle Rock?
Yeah,
oh, that's good. I gotta check.
I've always wondered how like playing a villain in some of these classic movies that we've seen and in the past, how that changes like the villains' lives, everyday lives after. Like imagine being married, to your wife or something, or you're married to your husband or whatever, and you're just like he's sitting there smiling, and you just see this killer or a psychopath.
Well, I mean, we all know how like Heath Ledger, we all know how that worked out. Speaking of killer clowns, when he did the Joker, I mean that physically, mentally changed him to where it might have led to the end, but I bet when they impersonate that person so much they become that character, that it changes them, and so people can't see him the same way again. Jack Nicholson had a hard time.
Yeah, I was gonna say someone like
It's coming later on, but
gonna go.
Kuzliak, I think that's right. Was the director on The Shining, and I think you're thinking of the Joker one, but I'm going to talk about another situation. We'll go real quick on this. When he was doing The Shining, they purposely made sure to scare the actress in that movie, and I can't remember her name for the life of me. I had it written down at one point. Yeah. So they purposely wouldn't tell her that he's going to be behind the door or something like that. Yeah. Then he would chop through it with an axe so that they can get that fear in her face. Oh, God, and then how does that woman stay next to him at any kind of Oscars?
How did they not have lawsuits stacked up back then? It must
at that time, yeah. He tortured them he would have her repeat a line for 182 times. Just so that last time she felt beaten and betrayed. He's like, that's how the character plays. Perfect. Oh, that poor woman was tortured in that film. Everybody was. It was amazing. It's on my list. We'll get to it.
All right, guys. Good pick. You have 2 for 2017, right?
Yeah. And then one for 1990.
Let's give you guys a question. I don't even know what to ask here because it's both technically the same.
That's the hardest part as a judge is thinking of questions to ask. It's so easy.
Okay, so we got these, you two, and then Dab.
Yeah.
If you were to switch the clowns, actors and all, into each movie, which would be better and which would be scarier? Like, what would be the better film with it being switched?
I still think our new one would be better because I like the plot more. It was way easier to follow. It made sense.
That doesn't have anything to do with your clown, though. You're saying which clown would do better?
I think our clown is better if you switch it. The horror was there.
No, I guess what I'm asking is if they were switched, not if you had the option. Let's say we put old clown in yours. Yeah. Would that still be? Would you still feel scared? Would it still be a good film to you?
It depends if you do a nowadays horror, like with this clown we have in the new one. If you put it back in the past and you still think of like when that little kid was in the library being chased by the headless little boy, or I'm trying to think of more scenes. Or when the little kid that's delivering meat riding his bike and he opens that door and you see that clown with the glowing eyes just like waving or whatever. It's like that little stuff is more horrorish than the old one that's sitting there laughing at a library with balloons blowing up full of blood.
See, you're thinking of it wrong though. That's the thing is you're thinking of it in a different way.
This question's too weird.
No, I think this is a good question, and I'll explain it through mine. Okay, through Tim Curry going in. So I think if you were to, so basically what we're looking at here is a CGI clown versus a non-CGI, like a CGI heavy movie.
You're saying put Tim Curry in the 2017 or the 2017 Curry back in the 90s.
How would they translate well, right? So you take Skarsgård, you put him into the old 1990s movie, and what you're going to end up with is a more larger than life clown doing wacky, crazy things almost in comparison. With the adult actors, I don't think is going to translate too well. And I know we're going to come across an it with adult actors pretty soon. But if you take the Tim Curry and you throw him into the 2017 model,
it'll still work for the kids.
I think it'll still work really well, because now you're talking about a creepy older clown watching them. Think of it this way. Instead of just like his eyes glowing or something like that, which were all scary. I love the new It, don't get me wrong. But think of just this old clown holding balloons. It's like doing nothing but standing there, staring at them while they're like riding their bikes. Yeah. And they look back, he's not there.
That's not nearly as scary as...
it is creepy.
I think if you brought Tim Curry to the modern movie, it would just be... It'd be the same movie, but not nearly as scary. I think that's all it would lose, because the new It is... The character is what makes it scary. Like, it's not as much driven by the suspense and the art of the movie.
Yeah, well, it's drama. Because the 90s one was more psychological horror, while the new one's more visual effects
horror.
horror.
Like, if you were an adult in the old one, and you have the new It saying, like, the boy that's afraid of all the infections... Yeah. Or the diseases or whatever. If you had that chasing you as an adult, that's still insane, you know, to me. Like, I feel like the adults still would be scared or whatever, like you're saying. Like,
I think they would be scared. It's true, but I just think that... Okay, so, like, the worst part of the 1990s It was when he turned into the big monster at the end and fought. So I'm just thinking... which is coming to the other one, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be eventually coming to the other one.
But I think they're going to have to make it look a lot better.
True, but that's what I'm saying is... The movie didn't need that kind of character in it. When you're about to if you bring the clown Skarsgård into that one, you're talking about the whole movie having a character like that that's like overly big, kind of too much. The idea of the balloons isn't the fact that he had like a diamond amount of balloons or X amount of balloons or these like a big balloon or like that. The idea was one balloon that didn't belong there, randomly floating somewhere, meaning that you were not safe.
You're being watched.
Yeah, that was the whole point. Well, it's one balloon versus the idea of a bunch of balloons.
In the new movie, there was one balloon in the car when that kid was about to get cut up and stabbed, or with the bully.
But that's what I'm saying is like, but there's that time where he had like the triangle of balloons, the upside down pyramid, holding it, which was that's interesting, that's neat. But I'm saying it's scarier when you're out in that field and then you see like the random water pump that's out there, and there's just like a single balloon kind of floating by. Yeah. Like, where the heck did that balloon come from? That's the scary part of it.
I think ultimately this question sucks, dick. And
well, no, I can see where it was rough, but at the same time, I mean, we got 4 hours of content just now. You guys were taking it pretty deep, so I think
that's true. That ended up lasting 4 minutes.
I think it ended up being a pretty well question. I guess for the last 30 seconds, what if you just had the two clowns in here looking at you right now? The new one would scare you more.
The new one is way more.
No,
scary.
Nothing. Just standing there.
Yeah.
No special effects.
Doing nothing but standing there.
One Tim Curry looks like a clown that you would invite to your birthday party back in the 80s or 70s before everyone was afraid of clowns. And the newer one looks like
would you agree that because of it and like that, people got their fear of clowns?
I think so. Over generations, especially because hobos became clowns back when there was no. Back during like,
but they weren't afraid of them. They were just
back then. Yeah, they weren't afraid. Those people were just trying to find jobs, but they were like desperate, needy people. So I think that like over time evolved into clowns are, you know,
opening scene.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're talking two clowns. I'm staring at it. Give me opening scene with the new It with his eye going off to one side and him drooling. Fucking scary ass face.
That I'll admit is a pretty good selling.
But I think they the way they made his head physically disproportionate in the new It was just like a tipping point on him.
Well, that's the thing though. See, now I argue this is the opposite of that. Now you're making him a cartoon.
Not a cartoon. He's a monster. He's a creature.
He is a monster and a creature, but I'm saying you almost make him cartoonish to the effect. Where like the thing with Tim Curry is he looked like the clown you hired to your birthday.
Yeah, he blends in.
But he's standing in the middle of a forest. Versus this guy who's in like 1890s clown garb, and looks different than he looks like he's out of time. Yeah. And he is out of time, but he looks it. When Tim Curry looks like your neighbor that does clowning on the side, who's just like watching you. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
but I'm totally comfortable standing next to my neighbor and not this monster.
I think in an overall horror movie, though, I think that I know I'm just hella debating.
That's good.
I like the powers of the new It than I have the old It.
We're debating this way more than we did number 1.
Yeah. What makes it hard? What makes
it
it very hard, and why I'm trying to come up with just weird questions is, it's
the same character.
It's the same character. It's just the same movie, so it's like.
Yeah.
Let's think of abilities then. There was more crazier scenes with the new It than I feel like the old It. Like I said, the library scene.
I just don't think those scenes were needed to create fear.
Why not? Why did the old It had scenes like that then?
They had scenes like that, but they weren't so
dramatic.
Dramatic because, I mean, the most dramatic scene I think was the shower scene. Right? If you guys remember the old shower scene, it took a huge budget to make that scene happen. Where like the drain opened up.
Oh yeah.
It took so much of the budget to make that one scene happen, but I don't know. Personally, I feel Tim Curry and Skarsgård. I mean, his whole family is just killing it right now.
Yeah.
Every one of them is making some of the best content you'll see out there, but. I just feel Tim Curry's better It. I don't know. At this point, we're like at 10 instead of 5. You got to just make a decision.
Yeah. You want a coin?
No.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I won't bring up my It again because if one of these It's win, well, one of them will win. It has to represent the.
I'll do us all a favor.
I have too many good horror movies on here. I'm not gonna.
And it deserves to be on this list, and I'm happy where it's at.
I'll do us all a favor, and it wins.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
So
that's true.
How many people are listening to this pissed off?
You guys debated for an hour, and you just agreed that they're both winners.
That was a tough one. I feel for obvious. I mean, it's the same character.
Yeah.
Okay, but we need one of those.
Yeah. We need to bring it like no. We're not.
I'm sitting here thinking.
We're not settling. Think of the cast. The little boys.
Honestly, I'm just gonna go with the opening scene of 2017.
Because that Georgie scene.
I think that was very well. Yeah. I think that was very good.
It was basically a complete remake of the 90s version.
It was.
Successful
remake. But like we just got done saying, it's the same movie.
You got him going down to the basement.
But half. That's one thing that's so funny is we had so much to talk about, but like there's other things like I couldn't talk about that being a Stephen King book, which I thought was amazing because they both are, and the fact that this one I know we're at 31 minutes.
I'll try to make this. That was just a rough one.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. I'm happy with your decision because both are really good. But my movie's literally double your guys' movies. The full story. Your guys is only half the story. Yours is really a part 1.
Well, we'll come back to when part 2 comes out.
Yeah, we should debate your part 1. Yeah. Cut your media in half.
Yeah.
And then debate.
All right, number 3. Squeak, start us out.
The Shining.
I like that movie.
You know, like the 2 little girls that are dead that follows him around the hotel. I think is amazing.
What are their names?
I forgot the one's names. But I thought the scene with the blood for the elevator comes out. I thought the ending was amazing where he's in the picture, which I feel like we could talk about. Why is
forever.
This? Him just going nuts and making himself nuts, and then when you find out this whole book he's writing is just the same words over and over. I like the where he just kind of dies in the snow, gets frozen to death or whatever ending. And I think the woman in it is like you said, went through hell making the movie, but I feel like you can actually tell she's wearing that on her when she's doing it.
Kubliak was the director, by the way. I messed that name up.
I thought having the hotel to himself was already creepy enough. I thought that was pretty insane. And yeah, I'll just count that as my minute. All right. Going for The Shining, number 3.
Taff, you got anything for us?
Man, this is a hard one. I think I have to, because I really want to Get Out in there, but I'm going to have to go with The Shining as well. And it was just, I know a lot of the stories behind the scenes, which to me translates really well. And I mean, Jack Nicholson is amazing. And I wish I could remember the actress in this movie's name. But we have our Googler Googling
Shelley Duvall.
Thank you, Shelley Duvall. They tortured that poor girl. And it's a shame, but it came out so well because of it. And like, if you look at when you go back and watch it, like when he typed all play, what is it? All
work but no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Yeah, all work but no play makes Jack a dull boy. He typed that over and over again that was literally somebody actually typed that out on a typewriter over and over again for the scene. And it's the most parodied horror movie I think out there, really. I know there's a South Park, I know there's a Simpsons.
Yeah, we went through the Halloween Horror Nights one year, and that was one of the mazes. Oh my god, that was insane.
It's in Ready Player One. You and me were just discussing this a while ago.
Amazing scene.
Yeah, really. That's amazing what they did there.
Family Guy too, yeah.
Huh? It has to be. I assume.
I believe there's a picture.
I can remember Peter sticking his head through the door. Yeah. That's my time.
John, what you got for us for number 2?
What was your Frank?
Shining.
Did you guys both do the Shining?
Yeah.
Oh man, I should pay more attention. Gosh, I don't want to sacrifice any of mine because you guys are both gonna beat it down, but.
Shining's a good movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 13 Ghosts though. That was one of my favorite horror movies, and it's still. I mean, it's in my top 5.
Yeah.
For so many years, that was like my only favorite horror movie. Just because when I came out in 2001, so I was only 11 years old, and it scared the living
And we
piss
saw
out
it
of
in
me.
theaters.
Did we?
We grew up loving horror movies. So for you, at 11 years old, watching a horror movie was nothing.
Yeah.
And yeah, we saw it in theaters.
Yeah, man.
Which is the best way to see that thing.
Yeah, it was so creepy back. Like I mentioned earlier, it didn't age too well, but back then it was good technology and it looked so real. Now you look at the ghost, you're like, okay, that was like obviously not even CGI, but like an effect, and it looked terrible. But anyways, but it was. I'm trying to remember exactly like the plot of it. I remember it was a maze. I think the family went in here. They inherited this estate or whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy went there to manage the estate, but come to find out,
inherited from his uncle.
Yeah. Come to find out, it was.
The torture.
It was a trap.
No, it was just like he liked to capture ghosts, and he kept them under the house or something.
Yeah.
So it was a maze. If you get through all these steps, it was supposed to eventually sacrifice that family member to reincarnate the uncle that passed away. In the end of the maze. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it took, he was going to be the 13th ghost. It took 13 ghosts to do this black magic spell or whatever to bring him back. So, in all this, but
I gotta watch this movie again. Thinking about it,
I remember that stuff.
Remember all the windows were enchanted with different scripts on them and stuff like that to keep certain ghosts at bay in different areas.
You know what I like about that is it's an original story. You don't see those nowadays in Hollywood. A lot of times it's remakes or something.
Reboots because he can't fucking make a good original movie.
That was a good original story.
I remember watching that movie. I bought it. Fell in love with it. Watched it so many times. Eating I don't know why, kettle popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I think of 13 Ghosts, I think of kettle popcorn because every time I watched it, I ate kettle popcorn.
I remember the first time I watched it was in theaters, and most of it being seen through my hands, my hands up on my face. And I remember one of them where they were running and stuff like that, and it was creepy. So.
Yeah. That female ghost though.
I don't know why, but for some, probably just the ghost. But I was talking to Squeaks at the beginning of this. 13 Ghosts reminds me of Ghost Ship. Did you guys ever watch
Well, they came out real close to each other.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that was another. I like how. What was the scene where they show how everybody on the boat died?
The cable. The line thing. The cable.
Yeah, sliced everybody in half. That was a freaking epic scene right there.
Yeah, that was good.
Man, I can't believe it. I remember
That's the only part of that movie I've seen, actually. I haven't seen the rest of Ghost Ship. I've only seen that part.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you pee yourself, then you stop watching it.
I gotta change my pants and watch some Scooby-Doo.
Both great films. I don't think I have really any questions here for this one. Because my mind's made.
Oh, that's not great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the 13 Ghosts was that good.
How do you spell Shining?
The Shining. Easily for me, I just found was a lot scarier.
It's a classic.
It's a classic, which is great. 13 Ghosts is very scary. If you're listening and you haven't seen it,
treat yourself.
Halloween time is around the corner.
It's got the guy from Monk. He's the main one trying to get through there.
It will give you a little scare.
The ghost, and I don't remember his name, but he was hot at the time. The ghost expert was the guy that played in Scooby-Doo, the live-action Scooby-Doo. That's what it always reminds me of, but I can't remember. He plays I keep thinking Scrappy, but that's what it is. It's like
Shaggy.
Shaggy, he plays Shaggy in Scooby-Doo, so that's that guy.
Nice.
But yeah, check it out, guys. It's worth it.
All right, number 4. Taff, have you started those thoughts yet?
I have not.
All right, well, you're about to.
Okay. This deserves better than number 4, but I gotta get it in there. So I'm using my Tiana rule. All right, Get Out.
Shit.
All right, so I'm using my Tiana rule for Get Out. Make sure you guys throw some junk at this.
Weird. Tiana roll on a Get Out movie.
Came out in 2017.
You gotta dig a little deeper.
Jordan Peele was the writer, director, and producer for this film. I think it was a really good movie, and it was literally one of those things where, and I remember seeing an interview with Jordan Peele where he was talking about, like, it's when you see people yelling at the screen, get out, and, like, this dude is one of those people. Like, he knows what... He's like, give me the keys, we're getting out of here. We're going. Like, he wasn't going to sit around and just play the games of a normal character in a horror film. So that's what I loved watching, is this guy who's in a horror film that doesn't belong in a horror film because he knows he's in a horror film.
He's reacting like the audience.
He does. He's like, no, this is wrong. No. I'm out of here. The whole time. Remember when he sees like his old friend or whatever that like doesn't belong there, and he's like, nope, this guy's possessed. It's great, you know? And so it's just one of those movies where it was like, I knew try out something and they nailed it. It was really, really, really good.
real quick fact: Jordan Peele is setting up a new Twilight Zone series.
Yeah, he is.
And I love the black and white Twilight Zone, so I hope we get like way out there.
Yeah.
Instead of like this shit like ghost stuff or whatever nowadays would be. So
Twilight Zone's always taking some really cool chances.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get that. Actually, some of the original Twilight Zones, written by George R. R. Martin.
Oh,
who made Game of Thrones.
Did not know that.
Song of Ice and Fire, really, but yeah.
Didn't know that.
All right, John. Number 4. What you got for us?
I'm gonna go with. It's hard to decide between 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, but I'm just gonna go with the first one. 28 Days Later. It's a really good zombie movie. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. So it follows this group of animal activists go and release these monkeys that are being tested on it. They don't realize what kind of virus is being tested on them, but it ends up becoming they call it like a rage virus, but it's pretty much the zombie apocalypse. But these zombies, which makes this movie so much better, is these zombies aren't your typical like Walking Dead or Dawn of the Dead zombies. They're overwhelmed with rage, and they're more like rabid. So they have speed and strength and the maximum physical abilities of a human body, and they're psychotic and they want to eat you. So it's makes for a real thrilling movie. So as soon as you see them, there's no just like, oh, put one in the head. It's like, shit, I gotta get out of this fucking area and get somewhere safe. And it after the opening scenes and stuff like that, it starts with this guy waking up and he's like wandering the city that's completely desolate. It's
such a good scene.
And he finds some zombie sleeping in a church, and he slowly stumbles upon what's going on, and then he has to try to find safety, and it's
cut off.
Yeah, really good zombie. But I can't explain the whole plot in like less than a minute, but it's a good movie.
We don't need plots.
All right, Squeaks, scare us.
All right. Number 4, I have Psycho. Okay. Now, besides being directed by one of the most amazing horror directors ever, Alfred Hitchcock, R.I.P.
Wait, the original Psycho? Gross. I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
I was just messing around. Remake was terrible.
I feel like this movie actually could hit a reality, unlike some of these other films, like with the old school motel. Anyway, none of them that Frank picked because they don't belong. But with the hotel girl going, they got a peeping Tom. The peeping Tom is killing for like the mom. Next thing you know, he's doing whatever the stuff for his mom upstairs. You find out later that the mom's actually dead the whole time, so he just dresses up as mom and kills everyone. While the whole investigation, or there's an investigation, they go and find that out. Okay. What I do like is you got the most iconic shower scene ever, a real shower scene. Not this one where the sewer opens up. Well, of course, where the girl screams and he's stabbing her a bunch of times, whatever. Yeah.
There you go. That's
I think we still get references for this movie nowadays. It's so big, and yeah. And then the series too. They made a series about it, which is actually pretty good. I haven't finished it.
I haven't seen it yet, but I hear good things about it.
So my name is Psycho.
Bates Motel if you want to see the series for it.
Yeah, I think I watched the first season.
Yeah, I think it too. But Psycho.
John gives me these there.
What a shit is Frank trying to talk over there?
No.
Wait, you got something you want to say, Tam?
No, 5 minutes. Let's go. I want to start debating.
All right, Get Out, 28 Days Later, and Psycho.
What was it? What was yours?
Get Out.
Get Out. Okay.
Oh, actually, I question if this one might work for you. I was gonna say if horror films were considered for Emmys, I don't think they are. They usually don't win things like that.
Except for Alfred Hitchcock's probably won plenty, but okay.
What scene would be iconic? What scene from your film was iconic?
The shower scene is the most iconic. Or when you flip the mother around.
So you're saying, is that the most Oscar-worthy one? Is that what you're trying to say?
We'll scratch that because I like the second part that I was getting with.
Oh, yeah.
What's the most iconic scene from your film?
You know what? You're right. The original Psycho, I should have pointed that out more. Yeah, I'm talking black and white Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it is.
When you made that comment, I just forgot. I forgot about the remake.
Yeah. Vince Vaughn. Oof.
So yeah, what's the most iconic scene from your film?
You already know mine. I mean, it is. I mean, if I wanted to throw another one out there, it'd be the mom. That's okay. You're taking a shower, right? I'm coming in from behind the door. Right?
Sneaking up in on him.
You're gonna turn around. I'm gonna open that thing and just stab you so many times the blood's flowing down. But if not, then I pick the mother one where you find out the mother's really dead. It's just like a skeleton and stuff like that.
That's creepy. That's creepy.
So.
That's a little creepy.
Alright, so let me tell you about 28 Days Later. So Jim's the main character. He finds this chick Selena, and they're trying to survive in the zombie apocalypse.
You're supposed to be talking about your main
I
scene.
know.
We're gonna get to the main scene.
Oh my god.
So the two of them, they're
Sounds desperate.
The two of them are trying to survive. They happen to find a father and daughter who are living in an apartment in town, right? So now there's only the four of them that are survivors in this entire city, as far as they can tell. They're traveling, trying to get to the next city or wherever they're going, and the car breaks down, or they think they get a flat tire or something like that. They get out of the car, and they hear zombies coming, and a crow flies above them, and the dad looks up, and he's a dad just trying to take care of his little girl, right? The crow just happens to drop a single drop of infected blood in his eye. The dad, he knows he's going to die. Yeah. And not only that, he knows I have to stay here and sacrifice myself because the zombies are coming. So my little girl can go with these strangers. They're the only people who possibly can help protect her in this.
I remember that scene. I remember thinking about it, and as you're saying it, I was just thinking about it. You're in that situation of that world or whatever. You're just like, like, talk about RNG. Yeah. Jesus. That sucks. Yeah. All right, Dap.
RNG. What a nerd. Just kidding. Alright, so most iconic scene, I'm going to go with that. It's when you have our main protagonist in this story sitting in the chair, listening to his future mother-in-law, possibly.
Probably say the same thing.
Yeah, and she's sitting there talking to, and you are like sitting there with him almost, and she has this trick where she's circling the cup with and you hear that slow grind and stuff like that, and then he starts to cry, and you're like, oh no, he's losing his control, and then as soon as she taps the spoon on there, and he sinks into the chair, and he's falling, and it's like a movie screen or a window that's up there, and he can't reach it anymore. He's just falling. That part of that movie, you fall with him. I mean, my goodness, it did such a good job to where, like, when you hear that the next morning, you're like, and you hear that in your own coffee.
Like, fuck.
Yeah, you're just like, and there's just that little, like, she's doing that, and it's almost like you anticipate her just hitting the side of the cup, and how scared you are of it. It's such a silly thing if you, but you ding ding, and you're like, oh no. Yeah. And so it's just, I think that's got to be the most iconic scene to me. It was like, just it pulls you down with them. It was so good.
I don't know, John, you really gotta watch it.
Yeah.
I should do it tonight.
I mean, you guys kind of spoiled the entire movie, so I know it all. It's a good movie. I like it.
Oh, it's so good. It's so worth the watch.
Yeah.
Good picks, and you guys have been really painting good pictures here. So for our number 4, I think it's going to be tough. For our number 4, it's going to be tough. I did enjoy 28 Days Later. Psycho is a classic. Get Out was very good.
You got about 31 seconds to make a decision.
Yeah,
before you go.
I'm getting there. Get Out. I'm cutting out Get Out. It was a great film.
Oh, even I'm shocked a little bit.
Get Out.
Over 28 Days Later. Seriously?
I don't think. I don't find it a classic, man.
Give it to me.
No. Sorry. I said that wrong.
That's what I was waiting to say.
I knew it. It's not. I didn't find it like a horror film.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whatever. You know what? Hey, what are you doing with that cup right there? Why am I here? I'm going to give it to Psycho.
There it is.
I'm sorry.
I'm just going to throw out that was a Tiana roll you just blew up. But alright.
I'm surprised looking at our list now that you didn't go with the 90s hit, because these are all classic movies. Except for H.O.
What?
I'm surprised you didn't go with the 90s hit, because these are the 3 classics.
I guess I just found, it was the same film, and I think I found that one just a little scarier. I did like Stabs.
I prefer the new hit anyways, but...
You picked the new hit, right?
Yeah,
he did.
They're saying all those other ones are classic movies.
Yeah,
classic's a nice term for old.
I do, but there's no reason for me to.
The problem here is, honestly, I don't think it's that it would suck. It's that these are just, I'm trying to just go for what I found like the scariest and what I feel was a horror film. Get Out was really great, and I liked it a lot. I just didn't find it a horror film. Yeah, right. We never. You can't see what Joe's doing. I wish we had a camera for Tap right now, boy.
Showing pictures of wieners and everything.
Tap, feed us a number 5.
We're going to be on Twitch soon.
Yeah.
Once I
get us a number 5.
Gosh, then we're going to lose all the subscribers for sure.
We'll have a nice table. It'll look cool. My number 5. I really want to go last on this because I got to be able to beat you guys.
John, start us off.
I'll go last if you don't mind.
All right, my number 5 is gonna be Saw.
The original Saw. That is a good one.
Good movie. It was like the first of its kind. I think. I don't know. I remember when it first came out. It was pretty. I don't know. What do you call that? Made a lot of buzz. It was a big deal.
The first Saw was good.
Buzz.
I loved it. Yeah.
Buzz Saw.
It's just people. This guy's trying to like teach people lessons. He traps them into this room, and they have to go through different trials and tribulations to be able to possibly gain their freedom. But they learn that because of their greed or selfishness or whatever, they aren't willing to sacrifice something to gain their freedom, which usually will end up making them kill themselves, or they'll end up dying, and it is due to something they did. So, this guy's also in turn being hunted as a serial killer, even though he proves it. He's not actually killing people. They have a chance to survive if they are willing to learn. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. It's good stuff.
I think. What year did it talk about?
In 2004.
2004, so I was 14. I've probably been mind fucked a few times. But I definitely remember watching that one and just being like, at the ending, just what the.
Yeah.
And then when you find out the key that drops in the beginning would have been the way out, but it goes, Oh, that was a good one. Squeaks.
Yeah, I remember watching that and just was like, oh yeah, I guess it's really gory, but a shitty ass movie. But okay.
It's a good movie.
So, I'm going, my number 5. It's hard, but I'm picking it anyway. It's going to be The Exorcist. The first one, obviously. Well, there's more.
There's
The Exorcist with whatever. But,
sequel was real
like a bunch of names or people, whatever. So I'm going with the original. I think it was really super dark and creepy for the time to where I believe people were saying it's too evil to even see that movie.
Yeah.
So with that, you have the main girl that's being exorcised, which is just crazy, iconic scenes also. You have her with her twisting her head and her throwing up everywhere. That is like, you get demon, like CGI stuff of the children nowadays, and they look creepy with stuff, but with the actual physical makeup on this chick and everything, that was just some scary. Just looking at it.
There's still one
cut
where
up, she's looking green skin, whatever.
There's still one where I'm just like...
Yeah, I just think of all. For some reason, when I think of that movie, the cover is what always gets me. With that preacher or the priest that's in front of that building, just foggy,
very
dark,
eerie, eerie. Didn't the cast of that? Didn't like the cast of that after
we're getting
like all like kind of pass away very strangely?
There's a curse with it. Yeah, there was a curse with it where they
weird
were losing.
Things happened to them all.
It was like it was producers or something like that. Yeah, there was a whole curse that went with it.
A
lot of problems.
Yeah, that's weird when you think about
it. Was with me too.
All right, Taff. Take us home.
We have some good movies here.
We do.
I got 2 movies left. One of them did scare me, but I know it's not good quality. I'm not going to mention it. One of them's good quality, won't win, but I need to talk about it. And that's Misery with Kathy Bates. All right?
What the?
This is a horror film, okay? So it's Misery with Kathy Bates and what was the other one? Goodness, I have it written down. Oh, I'm sorry, one moment.
Must not be that good.
No, it's James Caan. Anyway, sorry. His son's in Hawaii Five-0. No, that's what I remember. Anyways, and he was, of course, from Godfather. Nevertheless, so James Caan is a famous writer and stuff like that. He ends up getting in a car accident off the road and gets saved by this nice lady who brings him back to the house, puts him in a bed in his own room and everything like that. Really great. Come to find out, she's a super fan of his.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that movie. That was actually pretty crazy.
It's a Stephen King book first, right? So some of the best are that way. You guys haven't been choosing. And so she's so nuts about having him stay there. She reads the manuscript for the next book. Finds out he kills the main character because he's tired of writing these stories. And then she tells him, you have to rewrite it. She ends up breaking his legs to keep him there to rewrite the book to where the guy stays alive. He ends up escaping. It's this whole nuts case. Amazing story. It has you at the edge of your seat, especially when the sheriff comes to visit.
Who's the girl who's the actress?
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates. Okay.
Yeah. She's pretty awesome. She does a lot of good work for charities.
Misery.
She's also been in the American Horror Story series.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. All right, Squeaks. You gave us The Exorcist. Why would you not want to be associated with this film? Why would you not want to be there?
I don't know. It's pretty self-explanatory. Let's see.
You talking film or like if you're in the movie?
You're just there.
Maybe.
You're in the film, but you're.
Yeah.
You're the pastor. You're the
character in the film.
Yeah, I'd be a shitty ass priest because I wouldn't go in there. I'd be like, holy shit, this stuff is real, and just leave. Not that.
Why the hell are you afraid?
I want to break and remind everybody, this is an explicit episode.
No. No, I think
Another one of these fucking appointments.
Craziest...
Oh my god, it's real!
No, I think the craziest thing is that I do believe, and to see that, like, I don't want to fuck with that shit. It's like, I don't ever, because I do believe that I don't ever want a Ouija board up in my house. I'll throw that shit out. But,
there's a good dollop about that. Actually.
No, so you're saying I shouldn't have brought that?
I guess if it was me, yeah, I don't know what I'd do. Yeah, that's crazy stuff.
We should film ourselves using the Ouija board for our Instagram.
I'm not touching that shit.
Yeah, I'm not touching that either.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I will buy the Ouija board if you all use it.
$14 piece of crap thing at Target will haunt us for the rest of our life. So, cool.
$14 to bring in demons. All right, let's try it out.
Guaranteed one demon per game.
No, yeah, I couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't be the priest in that movie.
It's like somebody offering you marijuana and then you're just like, hey, you want to just do some PCP?
Yeah.
You want to just fucking die tonight? God.
Yeah. No.
Oh man.
I just realized you didn't mention Resident Evil in any years. Isn't that
Are you serious?
Huh?
Those movies are garbage.
I thought you loved Resident Evil.
No, those movies, I hate those movies.
Okay.
Daniel would be Resident Evil 1 for his first one, Resident Evil 2 for his second one.
Oh man, that's amazing.
Maybe he'll get the Silent Hill.
I didn't know whether to answer your question either. I'd rather just be the priest do the exorcism than do one.
No, it's real. John, what about you?
What was the question?
What would you just hate about being there? Like, why do you think...
The 98% chance I'm going to die. So if a dagger fell down on the ground in the middle of the room,
would you be able to get out of?
No,
would you be able to survive?
So the first one was like you're in a room with there's two guys and so you have to cut off your arm to get the key, whatever, to get yourself free to get out of there to survive. But I think the other side was it like kill the other guy and you can get the key from him. I don't remember.
No, the key was inside yourself, like in your arm or whatever. I think it was, and then you had to like cut to get it out.
I'm not clever, so I would die.
Yeah, I would probably just die. I would freak out and get spastic.
I get lazy. I would be lazy. I'd be too lazy to survive. I'd be like, I gotta saw through the whole leg. I'm done. Fuck it. I'm out.
Like, how much?
Well, isn't that how that first one
ends,
right? He's cutting or something. And then the guy that's been in the middle of the movie the whole time.
Oh, that's right.
He gets up
and
has another key or something.
Like the dead guy. Yeah, he's supposed to be like the dead guy that didn't make it.
He just gets up out of nowhere, closes the door, and the guy just ends up just having...
The first Saw is outstanding. The first one's great.
The series died.
The 15th Saw drops off around there.
Did you watch the Jigsaw? The newest one?
No, I didn't.
Jigsaw? That one's actually pretty good.
I watched it. My money
they
on
revamped
tickets
it.
And stuff. So.
$2 on Amazon. I rented it or whatever.
That's pretty good.
Tab, you got anything you want to add in from Misery?
Why I wouldn't want to be in Misery?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you why. I got a lot of fans, and some of them are creepers. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to be. So think of this: is you're driving and you're like, man, kind of snowy.
I'm like sitting here thinking. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here thinking about like these questions because I don't know what to. And the way you guys are just like answering back, I'm like, these are pretty some dumbass questions. I'm like, why would you not want to be in Jurassic Park? Well,
there's dinosaurs.
That's why I was like, why don't you want to be an exorcist? Pretty fucking self-explanatory. Like, you see that little bitch on the bed. Like,
So I'm waiting for one of us to say, like, you know what? I would love to be in that horror film.
And that was the trick question.
Yeah.
So you're driving along, snowy, already shaky conditions.
Whoa! Just to jump in, sorry, I hate to ruin your story. What if you were not the main character, but you're Kathy Bates?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me change the story. Idris Elba crashes outside my house.
He's being raped. He's raping Idris Elba.
Explicit again. Anyways, so...
Alright, Squeak, you're the girl on the bed.
Idris Elba is trapped in my house, and I got him locked up, and he says, I don't want to be the new James Bond. I'm like, hell no, you're the new James Bond. And so then I got to get the sledgehammer, break a leg. It's a whole thing. And then he's like, I don't want to do a specific Rim 3. And I'm like, we need a prequel, damn it.
Say your name, Idris. No, it's James. And you just keep whacking it until you get it right.
FBI? Yeah. Taff is his name. Yeah. Put him on the list.
He will be the new James Bond. I don't care what Henry Cavill says.
Man, I'm sitting here looking at this list and I'm coming up with a decision. And it sucks. But I think Squeaks is the winner.
Oh, what the heck?
Dude, I just wiped this whole board.
You really did good.
I'm sitting here looking at it. I'm like, you got Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's all.
I'm giving you all it. I'm giving you all it. It's the same film. And I do want to add this though, Tab. Misery. I did like Misery. I think you should have came in with Paranormal Activity. And I probably would have given it to you.
That's what I scratched out, just because it wasn't a good quality film, and I had to give Misery its.
Yeah.
I
do think it was.
Gives me scares though.
Yes,
because
I do think it was a scary film because of how it was done.
So
it was bad quality.
Yeah.
It was bad quality, but it was a hell of a scare.
Yeah, well, I saw it, and I saw it in theaters too, and.
Yeah.
I remember I went with the girl I think I liked at the time or whatever, and that didn't work out well. But yeah.
Why are you crying?
Yeah.
You're home.
Yeah, you're
My whole top 5's on there right now.
That's pretty good.
Dang.
Ooh, that scared the heck out of me.
Don't move that.
I told you not to play with the Ouija board.
I'm not kidding. We will throw that on Instagram if you want to do Ouija.
I'm not fucking with the Ouija board.
I touched no Ouija board.
All right, so you want to go over our 5?
I'm gonna call you at 2 a.m. Hey, Tab,
I'll tell you.
Guess what's going on in my house right now?
I'll tell you the 5 because it's my list. So.
All right, top 5 for our top 5 horror films was Nightmare on Elm Street for number 1. Number 2 was It, 2017. But I'm just gonna say It in general. Take it or leave it. You all.
2017, I can't have that happen. Go ahead.
Number 3 is The Shining. Number 4 is Psycho. And number 5 is The Exorcist.
Solid list. I really can't complain with any of it except for, Get Out. Really?
I went with...
We gotta do a viewing party because I still haven't seen
Honorable
It's so
mentions.
good. And a quiet place, too.
honorable mentions?
Let's go honorable mentions. Good, Squeaks.
Texas Chainsaw, Friday the 13th, Evil Dead, Hellraiser, and Halloween. I bet you some people are pissed off that Halloween's not on
Well, that's
here.
funny you say that.
movies.
Halloween was almost on here. Halloween's like the only horror film that I enjoy watching all of its sequels.
And I enjoy the remake. I actually enjoy the remakes on a lot of these.
There's actually another Halloween remake in the works, too.
Oh, it comes out next month.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You gonna watch that in theaters?
Oh, yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis is in Act 1 number 2.
I'm in it.
Yeah.
You want to watch that Halloween in
Yeah.
theaters? Everybody? Joe?
I'm actually a little surprised that for my honorable mentions and didn't make this list. I have Halloween Town.
Halloween Town 2.
Halloween Town 2. Under Wraps.
Hocus Pocus?
Hocus Pocus boys. I mean, y'all obviously don't appreciate great cinema.
I loved how she wrote on the
Vacuum.
the vacuum.
Yeah, best part.
Oh, goodness.
All right, I'm gonna go over my numbers real quick. Halloween, 13 Ghosts. Cabin in the Woods. Probably should have been on.
Cabin in the
Yeah,
Woods.
I
I like that a lot.
Yeah, that was a really good movie. It was actually a satire on horror films, but it was really good. Original Saw. Oh, A Quiet Place by Jonathan Krasinski.
Still gotta see that one.
Yeah.
Good. If you liked Get Out, you'll like this as well.
Which
It
he
had
hasn't
the
seen
same,
Get Out.
Yeah,
same
I haven't seen it.
tension.
You're going to have a very eventful October.
Yeah. All right. Viewing party at John's
I gotta
house.
tell my wife to leave. These are gonna be scary movies.
All right. What do you got for your
She
honorable
comes
mention?
back.
I just got one. Is Final Destination. I was thinking I might be able to work it into my list. I remember. I mean, the movie itself isn't that scary, I guess. But I remember afterwards, for like months, you're looking at
I can
everything.
see my future.
Yeah.
Everything you see is like, oh, I could easily impale myself with this, like if I trip or driving or whatever. Everything around you is a death device all of a sudden. So, yeah, it is an effective movie. Let's get it out.
That was good. All right, guys.
Good list, boys. I liked it.
Yeah, it was solid. Thank you guys for joining us in our explicit Halloween special episode.
Ooh.
Yeah. Woo. Oh, yeah. Hope you guys have fun out there and be safe, and we'll talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for listening to The Top 5. You can find us all over social media. We're on Facebook at The Top 5 Podcast, on Twitter at The Top 5 Cast. We've got a website, thetop5podcast.com. We've got Patreon and Redbubble. We'll have those in the description. If you have any suggestions, hit us up on one of the social medias. Please give us a good rating on iTunes. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. See you later.